Hi there, champs. Welcome to this video, and I'm pretty sure that you are here because you wanted to personally learn how to be financially free in your age and how to achieve that financial freedom goal that you've always been wanting. So, by the way, I am Coach Ken. I'm the founder of The Limitless Wealth, the CEO of The Profile, the owner of Duncan Diners. I'm also a financial wealth coach affiliated with FWD Insurance and DFC Financials PH. I'm also a content creator, and yeah, I think that's a bit of a background of who I am. So, in this video, what we're going to learn is how you could achieve your financial freedom goal. And that being said, we would be talking about this financial freedom triangle. This is actually the basic, or I would say personal finance 101 that I've been teaching with my clients, for them to really start structuring their finances, and how they could achieve their financial freedom goal. So yeah, basically, when it comes to finances, kailangan structured tayo. In everything we do, actually, it's very important that we're structured because eventually it will become more natural, it will become more easier when we are structured. How do I say that? As for example, waking up early. I know most of us are not morning people, but once you start to actually allow your body clock to, get used to waking up early, then eventually your body will just, naturally wake up early. If you do it like according to studies, at least 21 days to create a habit. And so does in our finances. It is very important that it is structured. And for today, I'm going to share with you how I personally structure my finances. And that is, the triangular, the triangular way of structuring my finances. And I'm pretty sure you personally, you haven't seen a pyramid na talagang structure siya, na talagang building siya na pabaliktad. And why is that so? Because eventually, if pabaliktad siya, matutumba yung triangle. Because the foundation is not that deep. And we know for a fact that building up a building, foundation is really important. And so does in our finances. A lot of people, even if how big their income is, even if, they really do have like a well-paid career, eventually bagsak yung finances nila because inuuna nila yung top or pabaliktad yung pag-build nila ng kanilang structure when it comes to their finances. And the top is the dreams. And ako, I'm really pro-abundance. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you wouldn't enjoy your life because you have to. You really have to enjoy your life. But eventually, kailangan po may process when it comes to, achieving that dreams. Kasi ako naniniwala naman talaga ako that God would, created us to enjoy life. Kaso nga lang, there's a process towards that. But most of us, parang minamadali natin yung pag-reach ng mga dreams natin. How did I say that? For example, one of your dreams is really to have a car. And even if you're not still financially stable, since that's really your dream, even if yun nga, hindi pa kaya ng financial capacity mo, you really push through na makuha yung car. And eventually, you didn't realize na it's actually shelling off another expenses kasi mahal yung gas. And then may car maintenance pa tayong tinatawag, the registration and so on. So, or that's the bigger dreams. Ano? How about travel? So right now, after the post-pandemic, everyone wants to travel. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if hindi pa siya pasok sa budget, like travel now, pay later ang kinuha mong para set up, then eventually, I think that's not a good way naman. So, how am I personally, structuring my finances? In fact, I'm really for this kind of like sayings na pay now and then play later, rather than play now and then pay later. Kasi regret is the parang painful, the most painful pain that you'll ever, you'll ever, ano ba, you'll ever gonna experience kasi you cannot turn back time, diba? So, yeah, how? No? Dito na muna tayo. Ano ba yung security? Ano ba yung unang-una? I mean, what is the foundation? The foundation is for you to have security. Kasi, ang sarap naman mag-travel, ang sarap naman kumain sa masarap na restaurant when you know for a fact that you have the peace of mind that you are already secure. Kasi nga, may tinago ka. Kasi nga, these are just your extra money. But, let's talk about the things that you should be secured of. Ano-ano ba yung mga bagay na dapat secured ka? 5 areas that you should be secured of. Number 1 is emergency fund. So, very important that you have emergency fund. At itong emergency fund ito, kasi minsan, marunong naman talaga ang mga Pinoy mag-save. It's just that we don't know how to save. I mean, not how to save, but why we save. No, bakit ba ako nagsisave? And one of the things na hindi natin naiisip is this emergency fund. Kasi para sa atin, lalo na pag tayo ay employee, eventually, 15-30, mayroon naman darating another 15. Kahit ubusin ko ito for 15 days on the 30th, I'll be having another pay. But then, we didn't realize that there are emergencies that happens. Tulad na lamang po, for example, the best example recently is the pandemic. Diba? Swerte ka if your work or your business, hindi siya naapektuhan, but we cannot deny the fact that there are really a lot of people, poor or rich or in middle class, that was really affected during the pandemic. And alam mo yun, bawal kang lumabas. Manabing bawal. And what if wala kang emergency fund at that time and you're just relying on one single income tapos nawala yung trabaho mo at that point? Pwede ba nating sabihin sa Meralco, sa Davao Light na, teka lang, hindi mo na ako magbabayad? Or could we even say to our stomach na hindi mo na ako kakain kasi wala akong extra fund for now. Hindi ko na prepare itong emergency na ito. Of course not. Expenses would always be there. Kaya very important that you have emergency fund and you will only spend this during emergencies. Okay? Second one naman is health fund. By the way, with the emergency fund, magkano ba ang emergency fund na kailangan mo para for you to really say na it's fit already or parang okay na. So, very important na alam mo kung magkano para you'll have a goal really kung ano yung magkano yung isi-save up mo. For example, you're earning 20,000. Sabi nila at least 3 to 6 months. But if you could go further, like a year of your income, then that's better. So, for example, you're just starting. Okay na yung start mong goal 3 months of your monthly income and when 20,000 yung salary mo, that means that's 60,000. And this 60,000, you put it on a place wherein hindi siya basta-basta mawawala tulad na lang ng mga alkansya, wallet or kung ano man. You put it on a bank wherein pwede mo siyang kunin anytime kasi savings lang naman siya. But at the same time, hindi mo siya basta-basta makuha. And I would suggest, that you actually have like a CIMB bank. So if you wanted to know more about it, check out on my YouTube channel. It's The Limitless Wealth. I mean, Candale Comidoy, yung Candale Violango pala, yung aking YouTube channel. And I talked about CIMB bank. And yeah, kasi mas better yung interest rate ng CIMB Bank compared to other banks ng PDO, BPI because CIMB Bank is actually a digital bank. So yeah, doon i-explain ko further. Second one is health fund. Now, very important that we do have like a health fund. So of course, no, lalo na pag millennial, lalo na kapag bata pa, Gen Z, so we don't think more of our health because feeling natin we all still have the energy pero hindi natin alam na illnesses and critical illnesses, sad to say, these days is alam mo yun, it affects even younger people. 20 plus pa lang, meron ng diabetic na, 20 plus pa lang, meron ng alam mo yun, high blood, so high blood pressure. So, 'di ba? And it's very important na we really secure, fund for our health. Kasi this is inevitable, whether we like it or not. And it really pains us a lot every time na, for example, magkakasakit na. For example lang, magkakasakit ka. And then nakapag-ipon ka. And itong ipon mo, let's just say, inipon mo siya for your dream house. Kaso nagkasakit ka. And then, di ba, napakasakit naman na i-shell off mo siya para sa hospital bills mo. Kasi wala kang health fund. And I would really suggest that when it comes to health fund, hindi yung ikaw ang magsisave up, but find an insurance companies that offers health fund that every time magkakasakit ka, you are covered. Alright? And then the third thing is educational fund. These are for parents out there. Alam naman natin na pag elementary to high school, hindi masyadong ganoon ka gastos. But how about college? And a lot of people hindi na nakakapag-college or nagiging working student na. It's because hindi na nakaya ng mga parents nila. And if you are a parent na may young children ka pa, like 6 pababa or 7, or alam mo yun, prepare for an educational fund for them para hindi ka na mahirapan pagdating ng panahon. Last is life insurance. Fourth one is life insurance. Now, life insurance, this is very, very important that most Filipinos don't have. In the US, it's really a must, or in other first world countries, but here in the Philippines, nakikita natin siya na expense. Yes, totoo naman talaga that it could be part of your expense if you do have one, but it's an asset. It's a protection asset. Na whatever happens, lalo na kung may mga dependents ka, lalo na kung breadwinner ka, whatever happens to you, at least may maiiwan ka sa kanila. Kasi walang company, I'm not sure if meron bang company na kapag nawala yung employee nila, kapag namatay, for example, yung employee nila, tuloy-tuloy pa rin yung salary na binibigay sa family. I don't think so if there is a company like that. So, hindi naman natin hawak yung life natin. Eventually, at least kung mawawala tayo, mayroon tayong maiiwan sa kanila for them to start probably a business, or if isa kang father, mapapag-aral mo pa din yung mga anak mo when you are not there anymore. Okay? So, very important, we're really secured. Our life is secured. Kung may insurance nga yung sasakyan mo, kasi nga, diba, hindi mo alam, baka mabubunggo siya or anong accident, how much more the driver? Dapat may insurance din. Dapat tayo, bawat isa sa atin, may insurance din. Lastly is the retirement fund. Now, in the retirement fund, I have my computation. So, ito talaga yung reality na computation. Most of the things that I discuss with my clients. For example, right now, you are 24 years old. You compute a time wherein you wanted to retire. And this client of mine, gusto niyang mag-retire at the age of 50. Well and good. Kasi you still have the energy para at least if you wanted to travel, di ba? Napakaano naman if magta-travel ka pa at the age of 65. Why not? Meron naman ngayon. Pero alam mo yun, parang the earlier you retire, the earlier you could enjoy life. But you will only enjoy life if you have retirement fund. Now, 24 years old to 50 years old, that's how many years? That's 26 years. And according to statistics, the average lifespan of a person is 70 to 75. So, nilagay na lang natin dyan, assuming 75 years old. Of course, hindi naman natin alam kung kailan tayo kukunin ni Lord, but eventually, at least meron tayong bulk estimate. So, yeah. So, sabi ng client ko, sige, coach, I wanted to have at least 20,000 per month. So, kaya may 20,000 dyan. 20,000 per month na retirement. Para masasabi ko naman, kasi this client of mine, ayaw naman niya ng super luxurious life. But gusto na niya na at least makakakain siya. Diba? 20,000 nga na living. So, it's not too much, but survival. At the same time, may enjoy mo pa din. At the same time, pwede ka makakain ng mga fancy restaurant. Ayan. So, 20,000 yung sabi niya na gusto niya every month during retirement age niya. Okay, every month na tinatanggap niya. So, minultiply natin siya into 12 months. So, a year, that's 240,000. Now, 240,000, syempre, from 50 years old to 75 years old, that's 25 years. So, 25 years, that means, times natin ng 25 yung 240,000, that's 6 million in total. So, kailangan pala, pag mag-retire siya ng 50 years old, kung yung gusto niya na 20,000 per month na natatanggap niya, na hindi siya magiging dependent sa anak niya, na hindi siya magiging walang choice, na even if 50 na siya, kailangan niya magtrabaho kasi nga wala siyang retirement fund. If hindi yan yung gusto niya, if gusto niya mag-retire talaga at the age of 50, eventually, he needs 6 million pesos. And then, we're not counting yet the inflation rate. And when we say inflation rate, ito yung pagdoble ng bilihin every month. I mean, not every month, but according to statistic, it doubles up after 10 years. Pero, I think nga ngayon, napaka-bilis ng inflation. Ilagay na natin ang inflation rate is nasa 2.6. Or, depende yan. Sa kanyang case kasi, if every 10 years nagdoble yung bilihin, that means na ilan bang 10 years from 24 to 50? That's 2 years and 6. Yeah, that's 26 years. So that's 2.6. So this is where 2.6. That's 2 decade and 6 years. So that's 2.6 inflation. So eventually, that's a total of 15.6 million. So bakit natin i-compute yung inflation rate? Kasi yung 20,000 na value ng pera ngayon, after 26 years during his retirement, eventually hindi na magiging the same value. What do you mean, Coach? For example, na lang, nakinig mo pa before, sabi ng mga parents mo or ng grandparents mo, pag may 1,000 ka noong unang panahon, that's really a huge amount of money. But right now, pwede na siyang pang-capital siguro ng sari-sari store. But right now, having 1,000 pesos, kulang pa siya pang grocery, monthly grocery. So, yun yung sinasabi nating inflation. Ang value ng pera mo, lumiliit at lumiliit siya. So, kailangan you have also to compute the inflation rate. And now, kung na-compute mo na rin yung sayo at nare-realize mo, naku, napakalaki pala nito, no? May dalawang choices lang naman if you don't want to really save at that amount of money. First, gawin mong retirement fund yung mga anak mo. And it does happen here in the Philippines. Marami pong anak that are really pressured kasi nasa balikat nila yung, alam mo yun, yung responsibility, not just to their parents but even to their siblings. And ako personally, I'm nothing against with those people, but biblically, hindi naman talaga yung concept ni Lord. Kasi even the langgam, the ants, in Proverbs, sinabi ni Lord, diba, na kailangan sinabi ni King Solomon, siya ang writer ng Proverbs. During tag-init, you gather food. Because during cold time, during snow time, during taglamig, meron ka makakain. And that speaks for retirement. And ako personally as a parent, I really don't want that to happen. Na maging retirement fund ko yung anak ko. Because eventually, it will have a domino effect. Mahihirapan siya to get stable by herself. Mahihirapan siya na mag-start na build na kanyang wealth. Kasi nga, nasa responsibility pa niya kami. And it is never the responsibility of a children sa parents. Diba? So, yun yung talagang parang for me, hindi ko talaga gagawin to my child. And then secondly, if ayaw mo talaga mag-ipon for your retirement, pwede ka naman during yung kung ilang age yung nilagay mo na retirement fund, i-extend mo hanggang 75 years old. Or kung hanggang kunin ka na ni Lord. Kasi wala kang choice ayaw mo mag-ipon, then you have to work even during your old age. But, if those two choices is not the thing that you wanted, mag-ipon ka. And yeah, those are actually the 5 things that you should really be secured of. But of course, sabi ni Robert Kiyosaki, sometimes savers are losers. Bakit ganon, coach? Nagsisave ka na nga, losing ka pa. Because savings, kung babalikan natin dito, ang kailangan mong isave, alright? Ang kailangan mong isave is your emergency fund, and then the rest of this, kailangan investment siya. Bakit? Kasi, di ba, na-mention natin kanina that there's this what we call inflation. And kung natutulog lang yung pera mo, eventually, kakainin niya ng inflation. So, kailangan, you have to find ways. Second part of the pyramid is you have to grow your finances. And in growing your finances, these are actually some of the options. Madami po, but these are actually the, I would say, basic. And this is what we call paper assets. I don't know if you've heard already that, even if you're sleeping, let your money work for you. So these are actually some of the options. Number 1, stock market investment. Number 2, bonds. 3, mutual funds. 4, UITF. And 5th, nilagay ko po, hinighlight ko po, other legit investments. Okay? So first is stock market. Now if you don't, or if you haven't heard stock market, simple lang po siya. Yeah, mercado, it's a market of stocks. Stocks of what? Stocks of companies. And there are listed companies here in the Philippines na pwede kang bumili ng stocks. Isa na dyan po ang Converge, Jollibee, PLDT, BDO, BPI. Pwede ka pong bumili ng stocks or shares. So yan po yung stock market. Bibili ka ng stock, and eventually if this company is earning, you'll have a dividend or may share ka. But if these companies are losing, eventually losing ka din. Kaya kailangan very smart tayo when it comes to investing in stock market. So that's the stock market thing. Bonds naman is ito yung mga companies na nag-o-offer ng mga loans. And alam naman natin na kapag naglo-loan ka, eventually may makukuha kang if you loan, there's an interest. And these loan companies, hindi naman ito single capital, isang tao lang nagka-capital. Kaya nag-i-invite sila ng mga capitalist. So that's bonds. Bibili ka ng bond or magkakapital ka para ipaloan nila. And then you will also have a share every time that they interest other people when they loan. So that's bonds. Alright? Meron tayong government bonds, utang po siya. Parang ang concept niya is utang, hindi buy and sell. Alright? It's bonds. Mutual fund naman is somehow related to stock market, pero there are fund managers who actually manages your fund for you. So sila yung magbabay, sila yung magsasell ng stock. So you have to know who are the trusted fund managers. Para, like ako personally, I'm a busy person. I wanted to focus on my businesses rather than tutok ako sa news, anong stocks ang pwede, or ganito, ganyan. I don't have that much time. So, what I did is I invested in mutual fund. Para my fund manager, so meron siyang, of course, he has his own percentage on the earning, but eventually, wala akong ginagawa. Alright? And then, UITF is somehow the same with mutual fund, but it is run by banks. And then, legit investment, madami po. There's this what we call crypto, foreign exchange, but be aware of scams. And later on, we will talk about that. So, yeah, that's paper asset, no? Kahit pa, very important Ito, very important. Once secured ka na, once na alam mo na mayroon ka ng emergency, do not jump right away to growth kung hindi ka pa secured. Kasi hindi naman natin alam even if these are safe stocks or these are safe assets, eventually may risk pa din siya. So, very important that whatever happens, at least, alam mo yun, you are actually secured. And lastly, of course, before we reach our dreams, meron tayong tinatawag na higher risk. Higher risk investments. So, sabi nila, the higher the risk, the higher the return. So, kung gusto mo talaga na ma-reach yung financial freedom, of course, very important for you to really have that risk. Sabi pa nga nila, di ba? Successful people are higher riskers. And that's absolutely true. Now, number 1 talaga, part of the high risk is business. And minsan tayong mga Pinoy, when we wanted to get rich all the way, gusto natin agad business. Hindi natin alam that there are really three main ingredient na kailangan meron ka when you build a business. Number one is capital. Number two is experience. And number three is time. So, very important talaga na you have these three factors para maging successful yung business mo. And I would say, as a business owner myself, hindi po ganyan kadali magnegosyo. Like, there are failures along the way. Kaya nga, very important na may security ka na, may growth ka na, para when you take risk, the higher risk, of course, again, mas malaki ang income dito, pero high risk siya, hindi mo alam talaga kung kikita o hindi. Alright? So, very important. At least meron ka ng security and meron ka ng growth para whatever happens to the higher risk, hindi ka talaga madadapa like super negative. Kasi meron kang mga ibang assets. So, business is number one. Number two is crypto and forex kasi very volatile ang mga investments na ito. Next is stock trading. Talagang ikaw yung magte-trade. Kasi kanina we talk about stock market investment, which means long term. Ito, trading is almost every day. Alam mo yan, you will decide or not. If not every day, every after day, or every week, you will decide, okay, ito yung bibilhin ko. Oh, nag-gain na siya, ibibenta ko. So, kailangan meron kang knowledge. And of course, last but not least, hinailand ko, red talaga, investment scheme. Which is really a no-no. Kasi alam naman natin, diba? Dito sa Pilipinas, pag merong mga investment schemes, parang, ay, we really want, kasi nga, we wanted to get rich quickly. How would you know if it's scam? If it's too good to be true, it's really too good to be true. Alright? So, very important po na talagang aware tayo. If alam mo na may higher return siya in a short period of time, that's really too good to be true. So, yeah, I think that's really about the high risk. Ako, I would say talaga na if you really wanted to get rich, you really have to jump into high risk investments. Pero again, uulitin ko po, kailangan meron ka munang security, yung 5 securities na na-mention ko kanina, and then you have growth before tayo mag-jump in sa high risk. And afterwards, if you actually plotted out your structure, when it comes to your finances, may security ka na, may growth ka na, high risk, eventually your dreams would just gonna be easy. So it's really just a matter of, how are you going to structure your finances. And hopefully, you'll get something today. So comment it in the comment section if you got something worthwhile. At ano ba yung pinaka-aha moment mo. And if you really wanted support or help on how are you going to achieve this, kasi kailangan ako din, personally, meron din ako mga coaches on how I was able to achieve all of the things that I have achieved in my 27 years of age. Eventually, I do have a coach who supports me, who gives me advices. And if you wanted to have a coach as well, at kung gusto mong malaman din, paano ba ako magsa-start coach, I wanted to have a security, I wanted to have growth, I wanted advices for high risk, what would I do? Connect with me. So I have here with me my social media channels. I have my YouTube channel. Of course, please do subscribe. I have my Facebook. It's The Limitless Wealth. I have my IG. It's The Limitless Wealth. TikTok, The Limitless Wealth, and my LinkedIn, it's Canastil Comidoy. So for more questions and clarifications, please do connect with me. I have also here my phone number and my email address. And I look forward, champs, to be working with you in achieving your financial freedom goal. And again, this is Coach Ken saying, if you think you can, you can. Have a great day, champs.